Well, I figured I wouldn't even throw you a curveball. I would figure I'd just give you a full blown knuckleball. Nobody would have expected me to do a review on this. I know, even if you haven't heard of it, do not turn the channel on to Jeremy Johns, please. Give this review a chance. Even if you didn't hear of it, you might actually want to watch it after I do my little review here. So I will do all that good stuff right after this.
Buy my new game. Buy my new game.
Dad, buy me this new video game. Krusty said you have to.
Video games are so fake. How can you die a million times and still be okay?
Want a health pack?
Okay, you can have the game.
Sweet.
I still say games are fake. Hey, what the?
The Simpsons game.
Well, so I'm sure you're wondering why I did a Simpsons commercial. Well, apparently everything I read, I don't know how true it is. The show is trying to compete with The Simpsons. Yes, I did believe that that is true. The show came out in 1992. And ABC only aired 7 of them, and then Cartoon Network picked it up, and then it aired the full 13. So yes, this only lasted 13 episodes. And I will get into the reasons. There are several reasons why the show did not exactly make it. Um, so maybe I will do that first. So I will be reviewing the first 2 episodes, and there's reasons for it. Was the rating bad? Maybe I'll do that at the end. But this show had some challenges. Number one, the target audience was very confusing. It was targeted towards kids. There were big Burger King kids club meals after this show. There were actually collector toys for it. It also aired right after Full House. There was a special premiere which I just read. This was a lot of reading. So it was on a Tuesday night at 8:30, which I thought that's what it was. And I remember this when I was 7. I remember the time. I remember the promos, but I didn't remember the stupid title. It took me 2 years to find that. And thanks to Vegan Pop Tart having this on YouTube, I was able to find the full episodes. So the it's really honestly you will be surprised. You are really going to be surprised. Yes, the target audience, like I said, was very confusing. This show actually it really had to hit a home run. The time slot was another challenge. After Tuesday, that was the special premiere, but its regular time was at Saturday at 8 o'clock. Saturday at 8 o'clock. That is a terrible time slot. I mean, that is pretty much a death sentence from the very beginning. So the special premiere on Tuesday really had to hit a home run. It had to pretty much throw a knockout punch, not just jabs, if you're competing with The Simpsons. So it really had to give you that pop. And from what the commercials showed you, it was targeted towards kids. It looked funny. So now the wonderful pilot episode. Before I show clips, I will get into the cast. Very surprisingly, Max, the lead character, is voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. And he really shouldn't need an introduction. The man from the suit.
Say this every day, every time, and it's still the same thing. I still don't know who these people are.
But you didn't ask what the title was to this show, Capital Critters?
No, I did.
Oh.
before I did the trailer.
Oh,
From the opening thing.
so now you saying that I wouldn't. I'll be shocked at.
You always told me there was no bugs in here. The thing is really loaded with bugs, but okay.
It's mice and rats, and I guess there are roaches, but
There is a grasshopper in there somewhere.
okay, a grasshopper. Okay, well, it's the first beginning scene is on a farm in Nebraska. What do you expect? There's corn, and apparently there's rodents and bugs. So so yes, yeah, and capital critters. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some people that said, "What the heck is that?" Well, you're about to find out. So yes, Max is Neil Patrick Harris, who was in How I Met Your Mother
Never heard
for
of it.
several years. He was also in Harold and Kumar.
Never heard of it.
That's fine. And of course, Doogie Howser was the show in the '90s.
Never heard of it.
And I don't remember when Doogie Howser came out, but it was around the same time as this. And of course, Neil Patrick Harris would be a kid, and he was the voice of Max. Kind of different from the How I Met Your Mother, sleazy, sarcastic. Max is this, I guess, teenage mouse that is trying to become a man since he was pretty much thrown into going from Nebraska to Washington, D.C. to live in walls and the basement of the White House. Very creative idea, I must say. So then, did, did what?
Nothing.
Oh, oh! Don't get ahead of yourself. There are some political jokes in here, which was actually part of the problem. If it's targeted towards kids and they're making political jokes at some past presidents, those kids may not understand the jokes. And I think that was part of the problem, especially since your 3-year-old brother watched the pilot episode with you at 8:30. So
So your 3-year-old brother at the time.
we didn't say whose younger brother, but it might have been mine.
How old were you when you watched it?
I was 7.
It was yours.
So now I'm trying to remember exactly who. I know who the voice of Jamet was. He was the voice of Buster Bunny in Tiny Toons.
Never
Ah,
heard
it's
of it.
Charlie Adler. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was Charlie or Charles. But yes, he was the voice of Buster Bunny in Tiny Toons. He was another voice in Darkwing Duck. Frank Welker, of course. We've mentioned his name several times. He was, of course, the voice in Scooby Doo as Fred.
Oh,
He was
I-
Ray Stantz in the real Ghostbusters. He was a voice in Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, and the list just goes on. And he was the voice of the White House cats in this show as well. Oh yes, and he was also the voice of Slimer. And then we have, I'm trying to get her name correctly so I don't say something bad. Patty Dutch is the voice of Trixie, and that is Jamet's mother, the one that seems to smoke cigarettes and looks like a slob. And then we have, let me get his name right here, Bobcat Goldthwait. I know who he's from Scrooged. He's the guy that gets fired. I just didn't realize his name was Bobcat, but his name is Bobcat. Oh my goodness. And then the final one, I'm glad you find that funny. So I was actually reading up on the show more than I was reading up on the actual actors. Not that they really didn't do anything. Ah, there we go. Jennifer Darling is Berkeley, and that is Max's hippie aunt that he's going to see in Washington D.C. So that is the whole point of this: is Max is moving to Washington D.C. So the day that he's leaving, he has his backpack. He's all excited. He's pretty much saying goodbye to his mom, his dad, and his brothers and sisters. As he decides to get some corn and snack up before his trip, he comes back, and what do you know? The basement is being gassed. So, pretty much, I'm glad your jaw dropped. I think that was probably my mom's reaction as well. So, so I'm glad that I'm glad you were a little surprised by that. I kind of was too. Um, so Max is an orphan just like that. So he gets to go to Washington and he gets to meet Jamet first. What a character! Not exactly a loving and caring person to first meet. So he, of course, he goes in the airport. Uh, he's waiting for him, and of course, Jamet pretty much says, "You're going to become a man real fast." He tries to ditch him a few times, so then eventually he does go to Washington D.C. You get to hear George Bush's voice on the train, which yes, I did. I picked up on that. I don't know if I would have picked up on it though when I was 7 years old. So now I will show the first clip here, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the start to this so-called comedy show in the pilot episode, which is very important. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Dad? Mom!
Run, Max!
I can get you. Just hang on.
Your cousin in Washington!
Huh?
Your cousin Berkeley! Find her!
Hey, I got one.
Well, his family got gassed. So this gas is it's got to be pretty strong. Unfortunately, his whole family pretty much does not make it. So as you can see at the kitchen table, he had a few brothers and sisters as well, little ones. So this gas is very powerful. They take the methane gas from comic book store bathrooms, and that's how they collect all this stuff, or from a Bella Pizza bathroom where people poop orange. So this gas is very, very potent, and
I had Bella Pizza. I did not have that problem.
oh,
That's just different.
oh, okay. So, anyways, so obviously now Max is by himself. Did this shock me seeing this? It did. I don't remember seeing this when I was. I'm sorry, I got my age wrong. I was 8 years old when this came out. I forgot. This came out in February. This was not a fall. This was a mid-season. No, I'm sorry. It was January 28th. That's what it was. So I think we actually taped this the night before because I had a stupid bedtime, and I think I watched this before school, and nobody talked about this first episode. I was the only one that watched it, and I don't think I watched the whole episode. I think my mom fast forwarded the death scene. So moving on. So I don't even think she'll remember, honestly. Like I said, I didn't even remember the title. And I doubt my brother's going to remember this either. So the big thing was, what did we the main thing from this show is I remembered the exploding mouse, Muggy, and I forgot, yes, and that was by that Bobcat guy,
How many times
Goldthwait.
does this one mouse explode?
That is the gag of the show. He explodes every single episode.
How? What?
Well, it's like Kenny dying in South Park.
Never
That's
seen it.
that. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay. Well, the second clip here, we get to hear the wonderful George Bush, and the sound of his voice may have put children to sleep. So that could be another reason why that this show did not make it. Did kids even really know that George Bush was the president? I did, because I was just like that. I took interest, and I always thought the president and his colleagues were very honest and generous people. This show pretty much nails it on the head about some dirty politics. So that is very, very interesting. Well, we were taught in school that our president was also a great guy, no matter
Well, then
what,
you got talked about.
no matter what party it was. No, we were taught to respect the president, no matter who it was. So
Respect is different from them being dirty.
yeah, well, they don't teach us that at a young age. So I will just show the second clip in just a minute. It is supposed to be the wonderful, very exciting George Herbert Walker Bush. So I will show that clip in just a second.
First, I have a brief statement, then I'd be glad to take your questions. Our trip will take us first to Poland, then Hungary, two countries engaged in unprecedented.
So Jim, it does wait for him at the airport. Not thrilled. Oh, sorry, wrong clip. So this is the nice little clip here of wonderful George Bush um, giving his speech, and yes, that is Max's hippie aunt there, that kind of oh, sorry, cousin that gives the wonderful president the tongue after he kind of pushes um, her off with his leg there. So he's giving a speech, obviously, about Poland and Hungary. So I'm sure he's boring everybody to death, so that at least his hippie cousin gets to meet some wonderful cats. Of course, you got the president cat, who is mean and ferocious, the opposite of President Bush, and then you have the vice president cat, who is, I don't really know that much about Dan Quayle, so I don't really have many jokes for that other than this cat seems to be a little bit more clumsy and a little bit more slow. I don't know that much about Dan Quayle, but like I said, the president cat is not like Bush at all. So so now wonderful. I think her name is Trixie. I hope I forgot her name for some reason. Berkeley. I don't know why I thought it was Trixie for some reason. Okay. So now that I got my characters straight, like I said, too much reading today, and I've had enough. so, so are you serious? Yeah. So I found this part here hilarious that Berkeley was she was running on the desks, and as you can see, I just noticed this part now. She vetoed everything. I hope those were not important bills, but this could be what I mean. She could have costed George Bush re-election in the next year. So that might have so I mean that could be very, very important. I don't want to know what she just vetoed, but they don't really overlook anything. But they don't look at things twice at the White House. So if they vetoed them, oh yeah, they will be vetoed for sure, especially if it's jipping the American people. Um, so so now that happened, um, now we get to see Max arriving in Washington. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Topped by Thomas Crawford's Statue of Freedom, was erected during the Civil War, but in some land and state. As we move down Constitution Avenue towards our bathroom break and the Lincoln Memorial, you'll notice the Department of Commerce to your right and the 555-foot Washington Monument directly to your left. And if you haven't heard, the first family aren't the only residents at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It seems the White House is experiencing its worst rat infestation since the Nixon administration.
That big? What they mean? You zero. If I knew where your father was, I'd punch his face out. Hurry up. The poor kid's out there somewhere, all by himself. Hey, I said I'd find the Weasley little runt, didn't I?
Here's the cool part here with the tour bus, and this was actually the first line that I picked up on because I was watching this. I believe it was Tuesday when I was busy getting chicken ready, so I did miss some of this episode. So the part I did catch was that this is the worst rat infestation since the Nixon administration. Very funny joke, but once again, being 8 years old, I didn't know who Richard Nixon was yet. I think I first heard about him maybe a year or two later. Yes, Richard Nixon. He's he was the one that resigned as president. He's the one that said he wasn't a crook. And then a couple of days later, he says, I resign as president. It was that Watergate scandal. The guy that went like this. He actually did some good stuff for the environment. So he wasn't that terrible. Yes, his head did look like a potato. He did think everybody was out to get him. So he did have some flaws. But yes, he had to resign as president because of the whole Watergate scandal. So, but yes, like I said, I just started reading about. Yeah, it was. Yes, yes, yes. The movie on, yes, All the President's Men is on that, and also the Post does lead into it because Richard Nixon doesn't want to talk to the Washington Times or the Washington Post. So yes, he was kind of a baby when it came to that kind of stuff. So moving on, he's on the tour bus. He's pretty amazed. He gets to see the Washington Monument. I believe he saw the Capitol building. So yes, all that stuff is kind of cool to look at.
I would have known about that.
If you can look at it. Unfortunately, I wouldn't go there now. Um, it was better when I went in 94, 95. I went there. You were able to look at a lot more. I was able to go inside the Capitol building, which you are not allowed to do anymore at all. So, but Max gets to go in there. I believe that's episode 2, which I will be reviewing. So, so Max does eventually reach his wonderful destination, and he has a nice big area. Now, how mice are in this White House is kind of amusing too. That these little critters get to get into the most secured house in the entire country. I would like to say the world, but I don't know if that's accurate. So I will.
I don't think it's the most secure house in the country.
I would. I think it is. I definitely think
Maybe right now.
it is. I mean, there really has to be a lot to go wrong for somebody to.
You used to go be able to visit the White House all the time.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
That's what I said. No.
And even then, you needed so much clearance. The waiting list was like 2 or 3 years.
So what happens if you wanted like to take a school field trip?
I don't know the answer to that, but also the chances of you going when the president are there are also slim to none as well. So now I will show the next clip. No, they're not always there. They're always busy doing something. So now I will show the next clip of Max in his wonderful new home. He seems to be getting over the whole leaving Nebraska pretty quick. I don't think they really have monuments there except for the world's largest corn stalk. So I will show the clip of Max at his new house in just a second.
Max, I want you to meet somebody. Muggle, this is my cousin from Nebraska.
Interestingly enough, Nebraska is one of the few states whose name is derived from Indian culture. It means flat water.
Riveting, Muggle. Thank you.
How did you know that? Oh, knowledge is very important, Max. Socrates once wrote that it is the only good and ignorance the only evil.
Oh, he does that sometimes. See, he used to be a lab rat. They kept him in a maze for years, tested him with 600 chemicals. Fascists. Is everyone a fascist, dear?
Sick.
Personally, I think the iced tea mix put him over the edge.
Nice meeting you.
Well, so this is I think his name is Muggy. I keep getting it mixed up with Muggle, Muggy. Yeah, I think it is Muggy. And this is the only part I remember from this show is this mouse exploding. So now what I didn't remember, however, was the chemicals that he was pumped up with, and one of them was LSD. I'm sure my mom was thrilled when we were watching this, especially with my brother being 3 years old. Yes,
What's LSD?
it's a I call it the clubbing drug. It pretty much keeps you going, and you go and go and go. Um, I have to exactly know what the side effects are. It's similar to that. Yes. You take it like in a. I think from what I've never done it. It's something like that. And yeah, I think you can put it in a drink, and you just drink it, and you pretty much you just keep going, and you go. Yes,
How do you know this?
because my friend told me. He says to recommend trying it at least once. I never did. There was somebody that I
What friends kind of friends do you have?
They worked at DirecTV. It was part of the salesman thing. I think that was, I really think that was a sales thing to do. A lot of the salesmen that I hung out with were into a lot of recreational goodies. I'm not going to say which ones were which, but let's just say I never got involved with any of it. I always sold stuff very, very sober. So moving on. Well, so now that we're done with the off-camera conversations, yes. So I do like how they said that the iced tea mix is the one that may have caused it. It must be a Lipton brand. That would be the tea of choice that would cause somebody to explode with all the chemicals Lipton likes to put into their wonderfully made, cleverly crafted chemical tea.
I don't explode.
What?
I don't explode.
Well, you don't drink Lipton.
I did.
Well, the explosion's probably coming later on in life. See, it settles and sticks around for a while, and then it will just later on combust. So, so now as I'm being kicked out of the house, I will now show the next clip. They are getting smoked out of the White House, and we get to hear some more dirty politics. Yes, you are in for a treat, and then there will just be one more clip after this, and then we will go on to episode 2.
Cabinet room.
Next item, the House is another clean air building committee. Word is it can pass.
Look, I don't want to sound unsympathetic to the environmentalists, but we're in a recession here.
So we'll recommend a veto. All in favor?
Well, so this is the wonderful other clip here. So yes, they are being smoked, but they have gas masks. Very nice and very convenient thing.
Not all of them.
Well, okay, fine. Not all of them, but most of them do. And they go and they get to hear politics at work. So, yes, the nice clean bill, the nice clean air act it looks like it's being vetoed. So, more pollution in the early
Isn't he about to
90s.
do the same thing now?
They've been talking about this forever. It's just one of those things.
Well, isn't he trying to do it as the
Oh, the EPA, yes. Yes,
Isn't that
he
what
he
that
did
is?
he did that the first time too. Yes. So this is pretty much what is going on here. So now they made a Nixon joke at the beginning, which I'm sure Ben Stein was mad about, and now they get to make some other throw some political jokes in here as well. So these are jokes that would go over my head, and of course the muggy LSD comment probably wouldn't go over well with my parents if I was quick enough to catch on to it and repeat in school that, oh, I had some LSD with my mixed tea and it was terrific. That would not have gone over well in first grade since I was already in trouble several times because of my mouth. So now moving on. So I will show the next clip here of Jamet giving Max a nice little life lesson. So I will show the final clip of this episode in just a second.
Hold this. Go on, just hold it.
What are you doing?
Okay, you can let go now.
Are you crazy? Pull the chain up.
And
Jam it.
you're still here.
Jam it, I can't hold on. So I don't want to die, you big fat creep. Oh.
Oh, is right, butthead. So you're in.
So this is the last clip here. So he pretty much tells him that it was okay for him to run because that's what his mother would have wanted, because he had to survive at that point. Wait, what? Mm-hmm. But that's what Jamet was saying, that it was okay for him to run. Yeah, so what Jamet was trying to explain was that it was okay for him to survive because he feels guilty for leaving his mother behind. I like how he mentions his mom, but what about his dad and his siblings? So I guess he pushes them aside. So I guess it's just his very round mother that was I guess that he was trying to. Why am I getting kicked out again? That he was trying to save. So now he doesn't feel as guilty. I'm sure he still does. I mean, let's face it. He left his whole entire family. His whole family is pretty much gone, and it was a very big family from the looks of it. Um, so now he gets to go back to the wonderful White House, what Max calls the seat of democracy and the nation's capital. So Max has this nice high hope, and everything is wonderful in DC, the district of crime. So now we get to see episode 2, and let's see how this one's going to be. I will review these as soon as the video's over. But we get in a pretty decent start for episode 2. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Now let me down easy, eh?
Hey, this is where the president works.
No kidding, Einstein. Too bad the last guy left. All they ever did in there was sleep.
You better hurry. Somebody may come in.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Who's gonna come in? Watch this.
Are you crazy?
Boris, hey, tough. I'm sending over some pizzas. If they ain't there in 30 minutes, you get them free, okay, pal?
Come on, let's get out of here.
Well, so this is nice. This is a nice little start to the episode. So Max says this is where the president works. He's obviously very amazed by this. I would be too if I was in Max's shoes. But Jamet knows better. He said he misses the last guy because all he did was sleep. That is pretty funny, since the president before Bush was Ronald Reagan. I don't know if I could really see Reagan sleeping a whole lot, but it wouldn't surprise me. So, so now they knock over. I believe those are party mints, and I could just see Bush going into that office, and he probably would just think it's Barbara, since his wife pretty much has the frame of an aircraft carrier. So why am I getting kicked out for that? Oh, I am not. It's Barbara. So so now they end up calling for a pizza, and they think it's going to be delivered quickly, and it's just a cleaning person. And poor Jamet here, his tail takes a beating. So now the vacuum cleaner gets it. That's the first thing that gets his tail. The cat almost gets him, but now we will find out what else gets his tail. So this tail is just, it's going to be pretty much flattened out very quickly. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Ow, watch it! Stop whining. It was just a little painting. It was William Howard Taft, Ma, the fattest president in history. The guy
From the White House.
So you're telling me you lost my cousin again, huh? Is that it? You ain't lost. He's with some senator. Damn it. There's 100 senators. Have you ever been in the Capitol? It's gigantic.
I'm talking fat. It took the whole Supreme Court to swear him in.
That's good.
Look, stop.
Well, so here is the wonderful picture that landed on wonderful Jemit's tail. So yes, it was William Howard Taft, and this is another joke that I would not have gotten at all if I did not get my president book 2 years later. Then I would have known who Taft was, but at this time,
Never heard of him.
I had no clue. The only thing I really well, I'll give you. I think there was one rumor that he actually did. This is not a Chip Cod Roach joke. He really did get stuck in the White House bathtub. That is one thing I have heard. I did hear that he did smile a lot. I did also hear that the seventh inning stretch, that one myth behind it, is that William Howard Taft went to a game, stood up, took the chair with him. That one's a joke. Um, and he stood up during the seventh inning, and everybody else stood up, and that's how we get the seventh inning stretch. That I don't know is true, but I did read it in a presidential book, but that could be a myth. That may not be a fact. And the chair thing was definitely a joke. He probably ate all the hot dogs in the stadium as well, and that was a joke too. But I wouldn't be surprised. So, I don't believe I'm being kicked out for that. Yes, I know the food trucks are that way. He's probably there as well. Okay, so yeah, I don't really know that much about William Taft either. So yes, I did get this president book, and I was very happy reading it. And you know how that goes. You're reading it in the back of the book, of the back of the bus, and then you have the one know-it-all. Oh well, I know everything about the presidents without that book. And then he has the little smirk too. So yes, that did happen. So moving on. So Max is now at the Capitol building, and again, Max just thinks these people are just honest. They pay attention. They're all about helping the American people. They're so focused. They don't do anything wrong. Well, this episode really does. It really is quite amusing. So yes, there's more. So I will show you one of my favorite clips in just a second.
But one practicality. In plain English, the bill before us today calls for the shipment of millions of dollars worth of canned milk to countries in Central and South America, many of which openly defy United States foreign policy. Well, I, for one, am not interested in subsidizing a bunch of left-wing guerrillas and puppet dictators who would seek to subvert the democratic process.
My distinguished colleague across the aisle is right. This bill is about appropriating money to buy canned milk. Politics. This is about hunger. Now, I'm not an expert on hunger because I've never been hungry. I don't believe any of us in this room have. But how many of us have put our children to bed thankful that they will never feel that pain? Surely our desire.
Well, so I did like this little clip here. So I did look up senators. I had to because obviously I wouldn't remember. I was right on a couple of them. So I do like how Max was just thinking these people are just so straight and narrow. And there we go. We got the first guy. It looks like he's ready to do something important. He's got his portfolio. He's ready to open it up, and it's a comic book. Now, I'm going to just say this one, I'm going to guess was John Kerry. So then the other guy does a crossword puzzle, and what do you know? I believe it's blank. He probably couldn't figure any of them out. That was probably Bob Dole. And then we have the other one that opened up his portfolio, and he has a dirty magazine. Ted Kennedy for sure. So I just figured that I really thought that was funny, and that just really threw me off. I was not expecting that. Um, and I don't actually remember seeing this episode as a kid either. I'm thinking we either forgot it was on, or we weren't allowed to watch it, um,
Or your
or
mother said it was canceled.
or we did something else. My mom said it was canceled, but I think that might have been the week after. Um, again, Saturday time slot is pretty much that's just not good. Um, and it was also 3 days later than the opening episode. So we were probably thinking it would be on the next week, and I think that's what we did. Um, so anyway, so this episode so far is sort of what it's. Actually, I shouldn't say that because, like I said, this was more targeted at kids, so I don't think they would get a lot of these jokes.
This
I
is not a
find
freaking kid show.
okay, so you're pretty much knowing where I'm
Yeah,
because
this is not funny.
I'm finding this funny, but this is but also I'm 42, so I guess okay. So moving on. So we do get to see Muggy and Jamit now in action. Jamit finds a pizza and surprise surprise he's excited. Do you think it gets him into trouble? You pretty much guess it does. So I will show that clip in just a second.
You dream about stuff like this, but you never think it's gonna happen to you. What's with this pizza over here? All right, Colonel Clink sent it back. Said it was cold. Got it.
5 minutes, Mr. Barrymore. This'll get you started in the morning.
Hey, what's with the lights? Great, a power failure. Ah.
If you don't mind me saying, you look like hell.
Oy, my head.
Hey, that's by the sink.
Well, so this is what happens when Jamit finds pizza. He likes to curl up with it like it's a blanket. And then I do like the Colonel Clink joke. Once again, a joke I would not understand until several years later when I watch Hogan's Heroes. So now that pizza is now being microwaved with Jamit in there. Let's just say Jamit is, well, he's in a jam. So Muggy gets to he tries to unplug the microwave, but of course he gets zapped. That figures. So
You guys have to be
yes, which does figure. So then, of course, when he opened it, there's hot dogs inside Jamit's stomach. So now, with all this going on, now Max is so happy he gets to be with these politicians. He's in one of their suitcases full of money. Now, this part is a little bit unrealistic here. So, Max now gets to see how these people really are. Let's just say Max is in for a big surprise. So, I will show that clip in just a second.
Senator, appreciate you stopping by. Come on in.
Thank you, Mark.
I'd like you to meet Jack Reed from the Canned Milk Council. Jack, Senator Stuart Harris.
Oh, Senator, this is an honor. I saw the proceedings this morning on cable. I can't tell you how much your speech moved me, sir.
Well, thank you, Mr. Reed. I've always felt it's a worthwhile cause.
Oh, that it is, Senator. It's worthwhile for all of us.
Quite a little boost for your re-election campaign, huh, Stuart?
Oh, little. 60,000 ought to buy a whole lot of bumper stickers. But if it gets that vote through, hell, it was worth every cent.
It's all on Mark, Jess. Huh?
Clean as a baby's butt.
Fellas, why don't we get down and honor this coalition with a little drink?
I'm sorry.
Liar! Phony!
Do you hear something?
Everybody, hands up!
What the hell's going on?
Would you step to the wall, please? That's it. Hands against the wall.
Oh, my God.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
You set me up. It was all a lousy sting, wasn't it? Oh, my God.
So this is wonderful Max here, just kind of seeing this little dirty deal here unfold. Would the FBI come in and break this up? Absolutely not. These people unfortunately get away with almost murder. So Max is obviously angry. I guess he is acting like anybody would. It's one of those things where you get angry at politics, but you can't do anything about it. And that's on either side. I am a no card carrying anything. I do not go for any party. I go for policy. So that is my little thing there. So now everybody knows. That's great. So, like I said before, this is not a political show by any means. Well, this show is, but mine is not. But there are a lot of things here that would definitely go over kids' heads, especially in my classes. Um, anyway, so now that this was the final clip here, I will get to my review, which is going to be oh boy, is it going to be confusing. Um, I will start with the pilot episode that I said had to start with a bang. Did I think it was a bad episode? This is where it doesn't make sense. The episode itself was fine, but it failed at the same time because it really had to hit it out of the park and it was just a foul ball. So, in many cases, the well, the pilot really did fail because I don't think anybody really watched this show on Saturday. And why are you saying a thumbs down? I don't. Yes, I know. Yes, you are saying a thumbs down. The My wonderful bride to be is giving this show. I don't think it's. I think it's past an F for her. I think this might be an unwatchable for her. For me, it is not. Um, I think the pilot episode was okay, but like I said, it does.
I need you to come out here and step on somebody.
Well, Stimpy missed his chance. There were mice on TV, and he didn't chase them. So I actually thought the writing wasn't bad, but you're right. What didn't make sense was this looked like a cartoon for kids, but then we get to the.
It was written for adults.
It was written for adults. Yeah, so this is why it's very, very confusing. As a kid, I would say that, okay, so going back to me as 8 years old, I would definitely give this a fail. Looking at it now as an adult, there are parts of it that would keep me tuned in. The pilot episode, unfortunately, like I said, it was
I
fair.
left it down. This one I did not.
This one, you laughed at the pilot, but you didn't laugh.
What the heck did I laugh at? No, the other show we were watching.
Oh.
Never mind.
Okay, so the pilot episode, right now, I would probably give that probably a C minus to C, which is average. And for a pilot, that's not great if you're competing with The Simpsons. And if you've got a special premiere on Tuesday, which, by the way, was in Home Improvement's time slot at this time. So Tim Allen must have been laughing, saying, "You replaced my show with this." Um, so he would not have been happy with that. It could have been a repeat that week too. I really don't know. I do know that Home Improvement was on the 8:30 time slot after Full House. So let's see. I remember that, but I don't remember the episode. So now episode 2, on the other hand, this one got off to a very fast start. This episode, I'm definitely going to give a B to B plus. This was funny, but again, for kids, very confusing. Kids cartoon, very adult humor for that matter. But this is the stuff that I watched a couple of years later. The one of the writers for this wrote for L.A. Law. That was an adult show. But like I said before, this was targeted at kids for whatever reason. They should not have had this on ABC. They should have had this on Cartoon Network or MTV for that matter. So that was a huge mistake. I think the pilot, what they could have done was they did not have to have the beginning of that episode with his family getting gas. They could have done this a different way. They could have had episode 2 be episode 1 and him having his adventure to DC, and then later on explain, um, maybe tie into that episode what happened to his family, maybe in a narration or something else. I don't think they had to show his family getting gassed in episode 1. They could have done this a very different way, because the episode 2 was just so much better. So they showed his adventures to the Capitol building. That was very, very interesting. So, so this was definitely isn't one I'd recommend for now I would recommend adults seeing this today. Would I watch this with your children? Absolutely not. They will go right on their phones and their tablets so fast. Actually, some of the adults I know maybe shouldn't watch this at all because they would not understand any of the jokes. They probably think Richard Nixon plays baseball. So so um so now that I'm almost done, um, this can be streamed for free on YouTube. There is no streaming service that this is on, but I do believe that Disney does own this. Um,
Oh, great.
Proudly, I don't know. I don't think our clips are going to get cut. I wouldn't worry about it. There's a couple people that have this on YouTube. So, yeah, so this is free. There is no DVD. So, comment below. Let me know if you remembered this show. Subscribe if you want, and thank you very much for watching.